Hey everybody, Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. I was fortunately only about a mile and a half or so away from home, and I heard a loud bang and then some grinding noise. And I limped on home, pulled off the wheel to see what it was, and I found that the swaybar bolt connecting to the control arm broke in half. You can't really see it right now, it was really spread open, but because that was broke, there was excess pressure on the control arm bushing over here, and so I had to put a jack under the car to stop ripping the control arm bushing off, which is $179 because you have to replace the whole unit. I don't want to get into that right now. So this is actually a $4 fix, but since it came in a pair, it's an $8 fix. And some friends happen to be here working on their vehicle and took me in. So it was very convenient. I've got the parts here in my hand. I sprayed some WD-40 on there and let it sit while we were in town. And I got the tension off, so I'm going to try to get that bolt off from the top and the bottom now, and see if I can get the original bolt out, the pieces of it anyway, and then replace it, and I can drive again. By the way, it looks like the tie rod is not very healthy. There's no grease zerks on these things anymore. There's no lube points on these cars. Nothing to lubricate. I guess it makes it maintenance free, but it also makes them die easier. So I'm probably going to replace these as soon as I can afford it, both of them. That just doesn't look very healthy. The rubber's not ripped or anything, but it just doesn't look right to me. I'd rather be safe than sorry and replace them, you know, before things break. So, this is a simple do-it-yourself job, I hope. I'm going to get that off. Well guys, that just pulled out with a plier. I want you to look at this carefully. There's a thin sliver. This was rusted through bad for a long time. There is a, can you see the super thin sliver of metal that held that together? It's hard to see because it's so thin. I can't believe, there, just this little bit. I can't believe I've been driving on that. A friend here says it looks like that's been welded before. It looks like a spot weld, but I don't know. Can't imagine somebody welding a bolt, but that's what it looks like. Anyway, good to have that out. I'm gonna get the bottom one out now. There's the other piece. Wow. There's less meat on that piece. Crazy. Well, it's all out. Alright, I got the new piece in. I followed the other one. There's a match set here. And I laid it out and I put it on here. Now I just have to tighten it up and then take the jacks out and I should be good for now. Well, there it is, guys. A very simple fix. Do-it-yourself fix on the car. And now we're going to be safe to drive again. I'm going to put the wheel on and we'll take it for a ride. So I cut the other one off with a Sawzall. I'm happy I did, because there's what was left of it. So I replaced that too. Decided, you know, if one is that bad, the other one must be pretty bad too. They're probably original. And so there they are, and the car runs good now. That's one job done. Hey guys, well, this video was going to be all about gardening, and that's what it was turning out, but my neighbor got some gravel dumped here. I think you can see, yeah, you can clearly see the color difference here, where it started. And we were shoveling this out and raking it to fill some potholes. Now that it has rained, you can see some low spots we still have to cover. But we were doing this together, and oddly, at that very moment, when we were right here, this truck drove up out of nowhere. I didn't know who it was. The sun was bright, and you know, he was in shadows. And I don't even remember what he said, but I didn't know who it was until he introduced himself. And then he suggested I grab my camera. And that's why you heard a man walk up and talk about being a veteran. And that's why, of course, my neighbors know that what's been going on around here. We watch out for each other. And, you know, we talk with each other. People know what's going on around here, and we're neighbors. So that's why he walked up, and that's why you saw him continue, or heard him continue to work in the background. You can see the line here where we were working. You can see where we filled out the driveway all the way out to here, right there. So that explains the interruption in my daily work video, and that explains why I happened to be right here at that very moment that Doc drove up and happened to grab my camera. So I hope that clarifies any doubts or questions there. You know, it was, Melanie says, what would have happened if you were in the house at the time he drove up? I don't know, but weird, that very moment we were working on the driveway. So the day was finished, and let me show you what else I did that day. I was hauling the wood pile out. Remember, this was a lot of firewood out to there, and I was hauling the wood pile out back where I'm cutting firewood, logs, and a neighbor's going to help me split the logs. So I'm hauling them all out back with the wheelbarrow. Now, I was going to come back with the camera and finish doing this that afternoon, but Ryan was here over 2.5 hours, I think. So obviously the day was then done, and I never got back to the camera. But also, I'll take you out to the garden and show you what I was up to out there. See, out here, I've been mulching in and around the plants. Now, I started with the bean row because they're really stunted. And then I went over to the peas, which are badly stunted. And I did some melons that were out there. You can see a little light patch. And then I mulched around the squash and pumpkin, melon, cucumber plants, all the way around each one in a wide path. I'm going to come back and weed the areas out, though, and then I'm going to mulch along the whole pathway, as somebody suggested, by the way. Yes, I'm going to mulch and cover the entire garden area, the width of the rows. Now, because I think I had showed, I don't remember what I showed, so I'll get back to it when I see, but these were wilting badly. I think I did mention that on video already, but they're perked up nicely, although it has been raining now. Out here I weeded, well, I didn't weed this section that much, but I weeded down here pretty heavily. This was extremely bad. Well, you can see all the stuff I piled up in the walkways. I weeded out all the dead, see all the dead stuff in the walkway upside down. This was thick with weeds. And then I decided to throw them up there, but they look ugly. I might take them out. But I left some weeds on top, dead weeds. So I mulched here the whole width. I ran out, I was going to do this. Their sun was shining here a little bit, so I didn't get this section as much. And I'm going to go the entire width like that, on both sides. I'm also going to do the tomatoes. Now, I don't know what's going on here. The tomatoes have this leaf curl. Oh, is that a worm? Or is that the tomato vein? The tomato has, no, I don't know what. So there's this leaf curl going on, and we can't figure this out. I've never seen such a thing ever before with a tomato. The leaves are curling up. They're alive. They're green, so it looks like the nutrients are right. But the leaves are curling. It's really strange. They're pitiful looking, stunted tomatoes. No idea what causes that, to be honest. So I'm looking on the internet, and there's so many various suggestions and opinions, and I'm not sure what it is then. So any ideas that you have there, guys, I'd appreciate your help on that. But they're growing, they're bushing out, especially with the cooler weather we got the last 3-4 days. So I've got to finish weeding this all out, and I'm going to mulch around all that. And I thought I was going to get done that day, but we ended up working on the driveway, and then Ryan came over. So hopefully today I'll get out here and finish this. Now we've got peppers growing, finally. We've got a bunch of peppers growing on here. So the plants are starting to come out of it and starting to grow. So we're going to have peppers this year. And definitely then when I'm done with that, I'm going to put, like I did in the other garden last year, I'm going to put a row of chicken waste, compost, in between all the plants down both rows, and that'll help tremendously. And that's, I'll go back over to the corn. Oh, by the way, I weeded out this whole section too, and I plan on mulching up to there where it was in the sun. I weeded out this section. We are eating some peas already, and beyond that I don't think there's anything yet. Is that grass? Yeah, there's no beans yet. We have been doing some peas and stir fry, but the pitiful, we need to get them staked up, and I had to weed it first, and then I'm going to mulch around them. I think that's going to help a lot. Now our corn here this year is really looking good. So that is where, if you may remember, I had put the chicken compost last year, and that was the tomato row. So that's probably the most fertile row we have, and our corn is really good, and it's on schedule. They say knee high by the 4th of July, and it's certainly above knee high. So it's definitely on schedule for that. So it's looking good. Now here, it's funny, all these years I've tried to grow purslane intentionally. This is a weed that has a lot of health benefits, and now it's just taking over the garden. It's crazy. I don't know if I want to leave it as a ground cover, because they're easy to pull out. They're very easy to uproot, but it's a lush, dense vegetation, which is holding moisture in. So I might just keep it as a ground cover and get rid of the rest of the weeds, because these are a very, very healthy wild edible packed full of nutrients. And I think I'll do a video on that separately one day. But I could never, all these years, grow purslane on my own. It always failed on me, and here it is taking over. It's funny. Now back over here, I've got the chainsaw mill put back together, and I found the right file for this. The guy I got the thing from gave me the file holder, which tells you the angles and everything, and I went and found the right file for it, and I've sharpened all the teeth on this. I did not do it on video because I've never done sharpening before by hand, but I have sharpened the teeth. So this is ready to go once I put this bearing this bushing back in place. This holds the whole thing from bouncing up and down. See right there, this is supposed to, supposed to push that one down, and this one is supposed to push it up, and there won't be any wobble here, because right now I won't get a straight cut. Alright, so I need to fix that. It's hard. I'm going to have to find the right driver for that. I didn't have it the other day, but I found my drivers. So I'm going to do that, put that in, tap it in tight, or all the way, and then tighten it, and then we'll be able to do some cutting. Alright, that's it for this video. I'm going to get this up there for you, and that's the updates on what happened the other day, and what I managed to do before Ryan showed up. So there you go, guys. Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. And if you're new to this channel, please do like, subscribe, and share, and follow our daily videos as we strive to become self-sufficient and off the grid on a budget. Talk to you later.